In a village in Bhagalpur in Bihar, there was a big Pahalwan. His name was Bhumi Sanghai. He was 100 kilos, 6 feet height. He was so powerful, he used to do sit-ups with a buffalo on his shoulders. Every year, in the Kartik Mela in the village, he would organize competitions. He would create an akhada, and he would invite youngsters to come and fight with him. And the prize for beating Bhumi Sanghai were 2 motichur laddus. Big motichur laddus made in desi ghee with lots of kaju, kishmish, etc. kept near the akhada. And Bhumi Sanghai moving around the akhada, flexing his biceps and patting his thighs that dam hai to kha ke dikhao. And no youngster would raise his hand. So a young boy raised his hand that I want to fight. He came to the akhada. He had a good bodybuilding. He had practiced. So he looked a little challenging. So the fight began. It went on for a few minutes. Some punches were shared. The young boy got a lot of bruises. And finally he succumbed and he lost. Some tears in his eyes, some blood on his face. And with a breaking heart, he gave up. He was about to leave the akhada when Bhumi Sanghai stopped him. Just caught his hand and stopped him. And he called those 2 motichur laddus there and said, "Son, here are your laddus." The boy said, "What are these laddus for? I just lost to you." Bhumi Sanghai says, "Who told you they are for winning? The laddus were for fighting with me. You knew that if you fight, your bones could be broken. You could be permanently paralyzed. You would lose. Yet you chose to fight with me. So the laddus are for fighting with me." The boy was smart. He said, "In that case, give me 1. So that when I beat you, I get both." Bhumi Sanghai replied again and said, "No, son. There are never extra laddus for winning. All the laddus are always for fighting." So that is my first lesson that I want to talk about, that fighting is far more important and far more rewarding than the actual winning. One of the reasons that I have been called here is because probably I have won all the rat races that are conducted in this country. I cleared JEE in 2002. I still remember my rank, 811, got into IIT Kanpur, got campus placed on day 1 in Unilever, worked there for 4 years. Unilever sent me to IIM Bangalore to do an executive MBA. Then I quit Unilever. I took the civil services exam. I got rank 36 in the country and I got into IAS. Probably all the rat races that an Indian middle class student could win. But is winning the most important thing in this world? What if that winning doesn't come through the right means? When I was doing my BTech at IIT Kanpur, there was a course called Theory of Machines in Mechanical Engineering. I think it still must be there in the 3rd year course. I was pretty bad at mechanics and was a very poor mechanical engineer. People who are interested in mechanics, they would love the course and it was a burden for me. So at the beginning of the semester, I gave up. I said, "Mera isme kuch nahi ho sakta." End semesters happened. The total was 130. I scored 13. 13. There were only 2 more guys who scored less than me. I knew this time I'm going to get an F, for sure. The prof was really sweet, Professor Ashok Malik, one of the very good professors of mechanical engineering. I thought, this time I'm going to fail. What do I do? What should I do? The first natural thought that comes to a BTech's mind, go beg. So I went to Professor Malik's room and literally almost on my knees, holding my hands and tears in my eyes and well rehearsed that tears should appear natural, and I was giving excuses, I was a very good student in school and have been emotionally disturbed and whatever. And the real reason was that I was just sitting playing video games and never went to classes, or I just didn't like the course. But I kept begging to him that please pass me, it will be a huge disaster, my parents will be shattered, or there are students committing suicides and everything. So Professor Malik said, "Son, stop this. If you know in your heart that you're going to fail this course, let it be, repeat it later and do better." I wasn't ready to accept that. He said, 10 years later, you'll feel ashamed of yourself for doing this, what you're doing right now. Few days later, I got my grades. I got a D. It did not fail me. I should have felt joyed, but he was right. I felt ashamed of myself. I thought maybe I should have not taken a shortcut, failed in that course, and repeated with a better grade. 10 years later, exactly 10 years later, today, I still feel ashamed of begging that day. Hence, winning is not that important. Let's not take shortcuts and then feel ashamed about it. Any win that comes from a shortcut is not only short-lived, but is also not worth a win at all. This is my school friend Deepak Kumar. We hail from the same place in Jharkhand called Bokaro. He did his BTech in mechanical engineering from the IIT Mesra. He was working for a company which used to exist, Satyam Computers. Then, as you all know, Satyam Computers cooked its books. The company was closed down. He was jobless. He started frantically looking for different jobs. He also thought he should try doing an MBA. He wrote the GMAT, got a very average score, but he still got calls from a couple of universities in UK. He had the choice either to do a job or go for an MBA. He chose to go for an MBA. The moment he landed up in London, he heard news that his father had had a brain hemorrhage. He immediately flew back. By the time he came back to India, his father had passed away. By this time, he was financially bad because of his job gone. His father was dead. He had already taken education loan to pay the fees of MBA. What to do? He took the risk and went back to London. Did his MBA. By the time he finished his MBA, financial markets crashed and recession set in. So now, Deepak was there in London, a qualified, unemployed MBA with a lot of loans on his head. So he took another risk. He said, let me try contractual jobs. I'll work for a day, a week. He went and started giving interviews for contractual jobs. For one such interview, he didn't have enough cash for the cab, so he walked 4 miles. He got the job. It was £300 a day, but he could be fired any day at a week's notice. He kept switching jobs, finally landed up in a job which paid him £500 a day, a 6-month contract which kept getting renewed. For 5 years, he has been in that job now, and this BMW is owned by him. He took that risk, and he's again taking a risk today. He has quit that job. He's moving back to India to set up his own business. This picture is from India. He bought this BMW in India. You have to take that risk. There will be situations where you think that nothing more can be done, but if you don't take the risk, you will not know what is in store. Another friend of mine from IIT Kanpur, he was my roomie, as we call it, in IIT Kanpur. He was very different from me. I think he completed his BTech in 9 semesters and got F in about 8 to 10 courses. So in summer vacations when he used to go home, he used to stay back in campus because he used to repeat courses. So I asked him, ki why? So he was very cool and he said, ki yaar, first time mein na, main feel leta hu. Ki kaisa course hai? Then when I repeat it, I rock it. And he repeated more than 10 courses in his BTech. He did well, he got a job. And I thought, thank God, at least he got something. He said, I think I should do MBA. I should give CAT. I said, okay, he gave CAT. I called him, I said, kaisa raha result? First time tha na. I said, why, how much did you miss? Well, quant was good, DI was good. Verbal mein thoda sa reh gaya. Thoda sa matlab? Arey wo zero aa gaya. I said, zero? I said, dude, leave it. This is beyond your capacity. You won't be able to do it. He didn't say anything. Next I know he picked up this big fat red book called Word Power Made Easy. Started working this book like a school kid. Then he heard that an Indian writer got a Man Booker Prize. He picked up that book from some store. He read that story. He liked the story. He said, this Man Booker Prize must be a great thing. Why not pick up all the books that have received Man Booker Prize? That will increase my reading speed. I'll be better at comprehension. Maybe I'll improve. For the next 3 years, he picked up all the books that had got Man Booker Prize and kept reading them one after the other. He's still a very avid reader of books. 3 years later, he got 96th percentile in English and went to IIM Ahmedabad, probably the best management school in India. Graduated from there and presently working in Bangalore in MNC. What his philosophy was that you either win or you learn. You never lose. So every time he failed a course, he would read that course again, do it again and get a better grade. He failed the CAT with 0 percentile, 0% in English, and he finally is an IIM Ahmedabad graduate today. So either you win or you learn. This is another friend of mine, an electrical engineer from IIT Kharagpur, Deepak Murmu. He comes from a place called Saraikela Kharsawa in Jharkhand. It's a small rural tribal belt. His grandparents moved to the nearest urban city, Jamshedpur. He was raised in Jamshedpur, saving Tata Steel. He thought of becoming an engineer, wrote the JEE. He was the first student from his entire extended family to ever become graduate, and he became an electrical engineer from IIT Kharagpur. He said कि यार engineer तो बन गए, अब civil servant बनते. He also, like Prabhakar, I think took 4.5 to 5 years to finish his BTech. He repeated a lot of the courses. Now he had to choose an optional subject for the IAS exam. He had the choice of choosing electrical engineering or any of the subjects. He was a Santhal tribe from Jharkhand. He chose Santhali literature as his optional subject. He was clear that no other student would choose the subject because it's not taught in colleges. I'm a Santhal tribe and I'm an IITian. There's got to be no better Santhal in the country than me. This is my strength. If I choose sociology, physics, chemistry, there are so many others better than me, but this, I'm going to be best. It didn't work for the first time. He kept giving attempts, and last year he got into the railways traffic service and is a railway service officer today. He chose his battle based on his strengths. He knew what his weaknesses are. He knew what his strengths were. He chose his battles on strength, and that has made all the difference. So all these stories are about fighting, about choosing their battles on strength, about losing, about winning. What if you have won all the rat races? What do you do then? I was posed with this question. IIT, IIM, IS, everything was over. My training was over. I was posted in a remote tribal district called Mandla in Madhya Pradesh. It's a Naxalite affected district. I didn't know what next to do. There was no more rat races to win in this country. In my tours in the government schools, I realized that in every government school there is a bright chap who's smarter than the rest. So I gave an idea to my collector. What if we bring all the bright students from across the district to one place and make a school only for the brighter students? He accepted. I made question papers for teachers, for students. We conducted exams. From across the district, we selected 25 best teachers based on an OMR sheet based exam. We selected 100 best students. We put them in one school together and thought that maybe something will come out of it. After 2 years, for the first time ever in that district, a Baga tribal girl cracked the JEE. Geeta was not only the first Baga tribal, but the first tribal girl to crack JEE from that entire region. And what was heartening was, when she said in her interview that I want to become a better person and help society. She had more clarity than me at a much younger age. We thought it's a good effort. She became a news. The Chief Minister called her, awarded her. We continued those efforts. Next year, 7 students. Next year, 21 students. And as we speak today, 60 students from that district have cleared the JEE mains and will be writing advance in the coming week. So now I've been posted to the state headquarters as an additional commissioner of tribal affairs. Bolstered by my experiment in Mandla, I decided that on the state level, let's make 150 special schools only for the brighter students. As I speak, next month we'll be conducting an exam for recruitment of the best government teachers, and the very next month we'll be conducting exams for recruitment of the best students. Now when I meet Geeta sometime, I think she's probably pursuing her 3rd year in one of the IITs, how do I feel? I see her and I see I have a little role in the success that she has achieved. That happiness, my friend, is beyond the happiness that I ever got while clearing the JEE or clearing the UPSC. And now that I'm in a position, maybe our dream is that not only to IITs, we'll send tribal students from Madhya Pradesh to national law schools, to AIIMS, to medical colleges, and if possible, to Harvards and MITs. I have realized after winning so many rat races that it's not winning that makes you feel great, it's helping others win that makes you feel awesome. Thank you.